when kids are sick, they get colds and stuff from time to time, and luckily just getting adjusted, they really don't get sick that much anymore.
Yeah.
And when they have, we kind of like have our arsenal, like we know what to do, and they get over it much quicker.
Welcome to the Miracle Academy. This is your host, Scotty Cooper, and this is where miracles are expected. Welcome to the Miracle Academy. This is your host, Scotty Cooper. Today I have one of our special guests, Danielle Solis. Danielle is a practice member here at Cooperstown Chiropractic with her family. She's got adorable kids that love to come in and have fun with us, and I'm really excited to have you on the podcast.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm excited too.
Nice. So, what was the first start when you were looking for a place like Cooperstown? What kind of got you started with finding us and coming into Cooperstown?
Well, after having kids, I would constantly just have like neck and upper back pain, and it would, on and off, wax and wane. And just about 3 years ago, it was very painful, and I'd had enough. And I knew that just doing the usual massage stretch wasn't really working. And so I had thought about chiropractic for a while, but I wasn't sure if that was like the right thing for me. And I just finally decided, like, I'm gonna try something different.
Yeah, nice.
And I had heard about Cooperstown, and I like the whole like kind of holistic natural approach. So
nice. So how are those things? How is that kind of pain you were feeling? How is that affecting you with being a mom?
Oh, it would really make the day. I would just be a little bit more edgy and like cranky because my neck would be hurting and I can't turn my head, and kids are talking to you, and it would just like pile on, and you're not getting good sleep.
Yeah.
And so it would just really affect my mood and like my ability to just like, drive the kids where they're going. It would hurt in the car. It just kind of like weigh on you.
Yeah, I get that. So what is it like now having more of like this team behind you that you can rely on for either that pain or different things with your kids? What is that like now?
Oh, I feel it feels really good to know that, like, okay, if this is flaring up or something, or if someone gets sick, it's always like, we'll just let's go to Cooper's. Let's go to Cooper's. Like, we know that like we can do that. And I feel like that's like our first thought rather than, calling the doctor or like running off to the doctor's office. Like, it's like, oh, well, we'll just go to Cooper's tomorrow like we normally do or whatever. And we'll talk to them about it. That's
awesome. And that's, for us, that was really an intention, is that we wanted to be like that.
Yeah.
Especially like for families, we wanted, because the thing was, that's how it was for me and my family. Was it's always like, my dad would take care of us. He would find something to make us better, and that was something I wanted to bring to more people and the families like yours.
Yeah, it makes you just feel confident, like you know what to do, like so there's less worry.
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
So what does that do for you, having like less worry like that?
Oh, it's really, it's a relief. I'm just like a natural worrier. So to have less worry is great. It's great. It brings down your anxiety level a little bit, and especially as a mom, like you just worry more in general. So to have like something you can rely on every week, or if something comes up, that's really nice to have.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how have the kids, like when you first brought the kids in, what did they think about it, and how did you get them to come in, and like how did that all go?
Well, of course they're kind of like, what is this? Like, what are we doing? And I'm like, getting adjusted, and like the people here make it just more of like a family space and very welcoming for kids. They have fun here, and so it made it a little bit easier in that way. Yeah. And of course, like kids are kids, and it's like, I don't want to do that. But now it's just like a part of our routine, and they caught on really quickly, and I think it's been really good and helpful, and they have fun here, and they're comfortable. They know everybody, and so
nice. Yeah, it's fun. So her littlest one, Dante, likes to come in, and when he first started, he didn't know if he wanted to do it or not. And so we would convince him, like, we're trying to figure out, like, how can Dante get adjusted? And we found that for some reason he liked to come into my office, which is like right behind me, and he wanted to come like play with me and talk with me. And so it got to the point now where he comes in and he's like super excited and he's like, Scotty!
Yeah.
And then he like, yesterday actually, he walked in and he like put his hands out like this and he goes, I have a present for you.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
what?
He's giving everybody presents. Presents.
Just pretend presents. I was like, wow, thank you, Dante. And he's like, you're welcome. And he like walked away. But he's so cute.
Yes. Yeah, and like doing something like that, I was getting adjusted and they all want to climb on me as mom. And, you know, the other Dr. Moses was like, hey, go give a present to like so-and-so. And so we had him doing that so that then I could get my adjustment freely and he's having fun and it just made it easier.
Nice. That's so funny. So, so what other things have you been able to learn like since you've been here? Like what things have you previously not known about that you were like, oh, well, that's a great way like for ear infections or different things you've heard with being here?
Yeah. Well, one of the things was like if your kid like falls on their head, like how that can like make like the sutures off in their skull, which can affect, you know, just down the chain. And so learning how, because I think we've had like a couple falls like on the head or whatever. And so Dr. Cooper was able to like check like, oh yeah, it's off a little bit and adjust that area. But then at home, in terms of like after the incident occurs, we've been told to like have them drink a smoothie through like a straw because that like really thick like sucking mechanism can kind of help like pull them back together. So that was like something I'd never even thought of. Yeah. And luckily kids love smoothies, so that's easy. And then just like when kids are sick, you know, they get colds and stuff from time to time, and luckily just getting adjusted, they really don't get sick that much anymore. Yeah. And when they have, we kind of like have our arsenal, like we know what to do, and they get over it much quicker. But in terms of like last year, one of them got the flu, and only one of them got it in the whole house. No one else got it. And I was of course nervous because like a couple years before he'd had pneumonia, and I was like, if this is pneumonia, I don't want to go back to the hospital. Right. Well, it was just the flu, and like Dr. Cooper was like, great. Like I was just nervous, and we called him on his day off, and he was here, and he was like, just bring him in, and he adjusted him, and like he gave me just like kind of like a good pep talk. Like I already knew the things, like, you know, you don't need to give them, you know, Tylenol, because that sort of like it sort of lowers like the immune system's functioning power, because you need the fever to fight off the bug. So in terms of like just giving him just like broth and just giving him like nourishing foods or liquids, and then I would just do like a Motrin for bed for him to sleep, just to give him some comfort. But then during the day, and he like tested him for nutrition stuff, like if any holistic or like homeopathic type things would help for him. And my son got over it in like 3 or 4 days when the doctor said it was going to take 10. Wow. So that was like great to see him like up and running around just a few days later. And after just like a day, like I felt so much better. Like my anxiety level about him being so sick was like down, because whenever your kid has like a high fever, you kind of get a little nervous. Yeah. But I think just remembering like what to do, like we already know what to do. Yeah. So. That's cool. And that's hard sometimes at first for moms to do that, because we kind of go to the anxiety place, like, because you don't want anything to happen to your kids. So you just have to remember what you already know. And it's nice when Dr. Cooper kind of reassures you of that. Nice. Yeah. That's cool. So what would you tell a mom that maybe is looking like you were a couple of years ago? What would you tell that person to say? Like, they're like, you know, I think I want a different option. I want that. I want to not have anxiety when my kid gets sick. Yeah. What would you tell that mom? That there are like natural routes to go. You don't always have to go, the whole synthetic or medicinal, like medicine path.
Yeah.
There's natural ways to do things. Like the Western conventional kind of like thing, it has its place, like, and it has its purpose, but there is a natural way to do it, and you kind of like have to have faith in like our bodies know what to do, and if we treat them well and like nourish them well and like give them a chance to function, like it will do its job.
Wow.
And so I think sometimes we forget that like our bodies are like made to do this.
Right. Yeah.
It's just a part of life that we get sick, or maybe we get hurt, and your body knows how to like heal itself and knows what to do. And yeah, you can get little help from like here and there, but it does know what to do. And so you kind of just have to have faith and then know like if it's not working, when to seek like something else, like that another source of like help from, say, Western med doctor or whatever.
Yeah. Cool. So, this is the Miracle Academy, right? So we always like to talk about miracles. What is a miracle maybe you had with your family here, or either your immediate family, or you've had other family here as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, I did too.
But what's like a miracle that you saw here with your family or any of your friends?
Well, I think like they've been like little miracles. Like I would like sometimes people think miracles are like really big like things. Mm-hmm. So I think they're more like just kind of like little miracles, like to make your life like easier.
Yeah.
So for my sister, I know like she's always just had like back problems.
Yeah.
And so she came here, and she's here for about a year, and that really helped her. Like I feel like she had a really good year with her back when she was here. So I think that was like a great thing. And then little miracles, like for my kids, one of my daughters, she kind of used to have a lot of trouble staying focused. So you would give her instructions, like say, go in this room and get this or this, and it might be like 2 or 3 like steps. Mm-hmm. She might go into that room and she would just like lose it. Like she wouldn't know, she'd completely forget what I told her, and she'd just kind of end up doing something else in the room. And I'm like, hello, I told you, this and this and this. And she was like, oh. And she would just like lose the thought. She was always a little bit, I guess, like scattered, like in her focus. Mm-hmm. And she's always been like very floppy and stuff. So I remember that was like a thing that we started on when we first started here too, mm-hmm. was working on like her focus. And so she got nutrition tested, and he gave her a few things to kind of like work on her kind of like brain function and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what he gave her at that time, but good things for her brain.
Yeah.
And I remember it did really help, and she would have trouble like calming her body at like bedtime to like rest. Uh-huh. So we worked on that too. And after about like a month or 2, that really helped. And I can see like with kids though, like, they might have like an issue or something that maybe you think like, okay, we need to work on this.
Yeah.
And so I feel like as they grow, they like change. And so it might be something you need to like look back into. So like, with Aria, my second one, who had like the lack of focus and like she couldn't maintain like the thought process and stuff, like I notice now as she's getting older and maybe approaching like that like 10-year-old kind of like prepubescent like age, that like that sort of issue is like coming back. So I'm kind of like noticing little things like that. And so I feel like that's something like I'm probably gonna have to like talk to Dr. Cooper about, because I feel like it's like your body changes, and so it's always like it needs something and then it doesn't need it, and then maybe it needs something again later on, like right. Especially like hormones changing for little kids and stuff. So I feel like you can just see these little things and you can tackle them like when they come up.
Yeah.
And so that was like a little thing at that time, like 3 years ago, that we saw a change in that helped. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and that's like for us, we want to be that resource so that mm-hmm. as your kids grow up and things change, that you always have someone that's like, all right, well now this is happening and we need to tackle that. And that's what I love, and mm-hmm. I love that we're able to do that for you guys and your family.
Yes.
So cool. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
But yeah, so for any other moms out there that would, want to come in and want to know, like have us be your resource like we are for Danielle and her family, you can always shoot me a DM or something like that. But once again, this is Scotty Cooper with the Miracle Academy. Thank you so much.